I wanted to show these chemtrails, geoengineering, that are going on today. It is the 29th of November, and I'm right on the Arizona-Nevada border. And I want to say these are not condensation trails. Now, you see that jet that's up there? I don't have a zoom on this, but it's not leaving anything but a condensation trail. That one jet that's up there, I don't know if you can see that. These others, these are chemtrails. These are chemicals they're spraying in the air. Now, I want to talk about CO2. Plants in the photosynthetic process, the photosynthesis process, take CO2, and then their exhaust, when they breathe out, is oxygen. Now, when we have plain clouds with water vapor, light can still get through. But this stuff here, this is causing the plants to not be able to produce oxygen, and it's cutting down on their ability to take in carbon dioxide, which the freaks that talk about global warming, and I mean as far as the CO2 is concerned, there are other things that are causing problems, but CO2 is not it. It's a necessary part of the life process. So I wanted to show this. This is really bad. This is spreading out. It's going to get worse, and I know the sun makes it harder to see, but I wanted to show you just how bad this really is. It's really created a cloud bank here, and this is another reason why the CO2 levels are going up. The plants can't process the CO2. So I just wanted to show you that. Is CO2 a problem? No. But when the plants can't breathe CO2 in the photosynthesis process, they die. It's like you having your oxygen cut off. So this is wrong. This is not right. This is designed in the end to kill things, not to save the planet.
And actually it's the morning of the 1st of December now, quite early. I thought I'd better go ahead and talk about this Ferguson thing. I brought a little bit of it up on the Santilli show when I was there about a week ago or so. But now we've had some time to look at more of the evidence, more of the information, take in a lot of the activities that are going on there. First and foremost, I want to bring up the Oath Keepers who are there and have been, well, demonized by the feds, saying that they're domestic terrorists. Remember, we've said that conservative groups, people who hold up the Constitution, things like that, would be labeled as domestic terrorists. And in Ferguson in particular, Stuart Rhodes and I forget his on-the-ground commander there, leader, Andrew, who, by the way, Andrew, from what I've heard as he talks, sounds like a very proficient and efficient leader who understands the situation, probably prior special forces or ranger or something like that. So these guys are well trained and they know what they're doing. And to be labeled as domestic terrorists by the federal government shows you again what this is about. But anyway, what they're doing there is they're protecting the businesses. They're not standing up against the police, helping the rioters. They're not helping the rioters. You know, that as I said on the Santilli show is way too far gone to do anything about that. But protecting the innocent, which the National Guard was kept back from doing. And if you watch any of the Ferguson things, you'll notice that the police were protecting the city hall, you know, the money places, not the people. Even when the National Guard got there, they weren't doing that. They were still protecting the government. And that's not what the government should be doing. Protecting itself at the expense of the people. But that's what it's all about now. You know, police officers are taught that they're more important, that their safety is more important than the public. And so that's why we see what we're seeing all across the nation with this police brutality and escalation of force. But at any rate, I wanted to congratulate Stuart Rhodes and his people for what they're doing. It's courageous, and they're doing it in the right way. And I just wanted to make that public. I find it reprehensible and disdainful that the federal government would say that they're domestic terrorists and set up a sniper team against them, a federal sniper team, and then apparently there was a state police sniper team, which of course the feds brought in as well. as a result of that. Notice that the federal government hasn't called the rioters domestic terrorists, the people burning buildings, they haven't called them domestic terrorists. Other security people that are there protecting property and lives, they haven't called them domestic terrorists. Yet the people that have sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and take that oath seriously, they call domestic terrorists. So you see where this is going. And it's going to spread. They're going to get more bold. The feds are going to get more bold in facing up, facing down, threatening, I guess is the word I'm looking for, anyone who tries to do the right thing. Anyway, enough on that. I want to get back to the shooting now. You know how I do that once in a while, where I like to step into the frame. Kind of changes things a little bit, you know, gives you a little break. I've wanted to look at this Ferguson situation from a lot of perspectives, and where I'm going with it is here. As I just mentioned, police brutality is reprehensible in this country. It's shoot first, ask questions later. When I was a police officer, you know, we didn't escalate the situation. It was a thing called escalation of force, and you were very careful about how you did that. One of the worst situations I've seen, of course, was a shooting of the homeless man in Albuquerque, New Mexico. All of those officers should be brought up on criminal murder charges. Yes, they should. Now, back to the Michael Brown and Darren Wilson situation in Ferguson. I looked at the injuries that Darren Wilson supposedly received. And of course, I still am not sure of the distances involved with Michael Brown being shot. But up front, like I said to Santilli, the police officer has to guard his weapon. He can't allow that weapon to get into the hands of criminals. I don't care if they're just strong-arm robbers. You can't permit that. So I can understand if Darren Wilson felt overwhelmed, if he really did, that possibly that may have been the right thing to do. But I'm disturbed about a couple of things. First of all, why did his training allow him to get that close to the situation? Now people say, Roy, you were a cop, you know you should not Monday night quarterback. Well, no, because I was a cop, I can Monday night quarterback, and I will, and I'm going to. You know, I approached a lot of armed people when I was in the police department, and I didn't shoot any of them. Did I shoot any unarmed people? No. If I'm not going to shoot an armed person, I'm certainly not going to shoot an unarmed person. Now, again, I did know a sergeant on the police department I was on who was beaten so badly that the only thing he could do was shoot his assailant. And he had all of the injuries to sustain his testimony. I'm not certain that Darren Wilson does, okay, first of all. Minor bruises, no contusions, nothing serious as far as I can tell. Plus, I didn't realize this guy was 6'3". You know, from the pictures, he looks like this little nerdy looking dude. And it turns out he's 6'3". Well, that's pretty close to Michael Brown's size. So now we're getting on the other side of things here, you know, equal forces. During the testimony of the grand jury, which of course most of it was kept secret, what we don't know is probably worse than what we do. And what we do know is this, that a grand jury is supposed to be an adversarial investigation, a grand jury, and to bring an indictment. An adversarial situation against the defendant. The defendant in this case was supposed to be Darren Wilson, not Michael Brown. And apparently the questioning was such that a lot of leeway was given to Darren Wilson by the prosecutor. Well, of course, they're on the same team, right? So that here we have a conflict of interest, which goes along with other police officers who have been in this situation who say that to get the real truth behind the matter, cities, municipalities, governments need to stop investigating themselves. Police departments need to stop investigating themselves. That is, again, a conflict of interest. You need to have outside investigators look at the entire thing. So what am I saying here? Really quickly, as I said initially, that I thought that it was an unjustified shooting for the most part. That was way back 3 or 4 months ago when this thing first happened and I got the first information. And then I said, like I just did, that, well, you know, a police officer has to protect his weapon. Well, either lack of training or bravado or stupidity caused this shooting. And in either case, it should be manslaughter at the very least, in my estimation, the way it stands now. A lot of you know, cops and those types of people aren't going to like what I say, but seeing how there was no adversarial condition in the grand jury procedure, Michael Brown remained the defendant at that point, which is totally improper procedure. Oh, I'm going to tell a prosecutor how to run his shop? Yeah, I will. So it's no wonder all these people got upset. Does that mean that they should have gone out there and burned their own buildings or threatened people, shoot people, cops included, FBI, whatever? No, of course not. The only time you use deadly force is to protect yourself against another armed force. And this didn't call for that. Demonstrating, absolutely. But anything more than that, no. Okay, just wanted to get this up real quick, give you my take on this. I'm going to be busy for a little while, but if anything important comes up, I will address it. Again, for those Oath Keepers who've been called domestic terrorists at the Bundy Ranch, along with me and several others, and now at Ferguson, I want to tell you that my hat's off to you. You're brave, you're courageous, you're doing the right thing, and we should all be proud of you. Thank you.